The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Open 2.0. I'm your host Alyssa Colon and we've got a great show for you today. Today's segment focuses on Bronx fashion and business. To help us unpack this topic is Bronx-based fashion designer Roselyn Grullón. She's a fashion design student at Parson, the New School. She is the original co-founder of the brand store Bronx Native and has recently collaborated with Nike to design her own Bronx sneaker. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I want to ask you, so tell us, where did you grow up?
South Bronx, Longwood. That's my hood. That's where I grew up all my whole life.
So what is your heritage and how was it growing up as a Latina girl in the Bronx?
So my parents are both from the Dominican Republic, and I was born here. It's been great, just like this amazing fusion of, being Latina and also just like being born in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Bronx is part of that. Like, it has that culture, that fusion everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. And it's like my daily inspiration.
Does your heritage and the Bronx like inspire your work?
Yeah, of course. So most of my work that I do is based on like, my life, the people around me, the places around me. So it's like a daily inspiration, like I said before.
All right, cool. So I want to ask, what inspired you to become a fashion designer?
So I just like fashion. Like I just started sketching clothes when I was like 10, 11 years old. And I just did it for fun, for a hobby. I didn't really think it was going to be like career-wise.
Yeah.
But, I just kept doing it throughout my life and I just realized it was my true passion.
What steps did you take to pursue being a fashion designer?
So when I got into college, I was actually going to be an English major because I was like, let me do something more practical.
Yeah.
I'm not rich, I can't just do fashion design. And I was in City College and I hated it so much. And that's kind of when I realized, like, you know what, like I need to do fashion. Like that's my passion. And I transferred to Parsons. And then during that same time, I started developing the brand Bronx Native with my brother. And it was just like a perfect fit.
Who are some of like your influencers?
So one of my favorite fashion designers is Raf Simons, just because he does this amazing mix of like streetwear and high fashion. And like Christian Dior, Rihanna, she's amazing. So I guess like design wise, those are my favorites.
What are your goals as a fashion designer?
To make great fashion, but like also great fashion that's gonna make a difference somehow, socially, politically, economically, something that has substance and is gonna help others.
I want to ask, what are some projects that you're working on now?
So all the projects I'm working on has to do with that same topic. I don't want to say it until like the actual launch date, but yeah, it has to do with the same kind of idea.
So how did you get involved with starting a brand and business?
So basically, when creating Bronx Native, the whole idea was to create a brand or like streetwear that's gonna invoke like pride and change like stereotypes that people have about the Bronx. And even just for the natives within the Bronx as well. Yeah. And just doing something for the community. And it was just also based on like the passion and like love I have for the Bronx. And to also teach others about like the history and culture of it without, like appropriating, truly to what it is.
I also want to ask, what are some hardship and success you faced?
I guess when you talk about fashion and business, I guess I'm always scared, like when we create something, like putting out the product. Because, like you're hoping it's going to sell well, but you don't really know if it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like an ongoing fear when like talking about business and fashion. It takes money and time to do everything. And I guess just like staying true to like your morals, especially like right now, like everything politically wise, I feel like that's important. Like who you work with matters, what you produce, quality over quantity.
Yeah. And are your parents like very supportive like of what you're doing?
My parents?
Yeah.
I guess. And my mom helps me for whatever. I feel like she doesn't truly understand what I'm doing at times. But she helps me as much as she can. She's an old school Dominican mom, but she always helps. Yeah.
Do you have any brand businesses or social media influencers to like recommend that we should check out?
Right now, like I'm not really into anything like that. I guess there's just one Instagram page. It's called Samtaru, which has to do with like fashion, history, and culture, and like it's a mix of everything. Like they talk about hip hop photography to like high fashion, and it's just a great like resource and reference. Like if anyone's into that kind of stuff, and for me, because all my work is very research based, so I'm like I love that page right now.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a quick break and stay tuned for more Open 2.0. Welcome back to Open 2.0, and we're here with our guest, Roselyn Grullón, who is a Bronx design fashion designer. So I'd like to ask you, how did you get involved with Nike?
So I got involved with Nike through an organization called Cultivator. I basically just saw like an ad on Instagram to apply to work with them, and I was chosen. So they kind of connected me with Nike, and then from there, like picking the sneaker that I wanted to do. I got to be part of this campaign they did over the summer called Queens Take the Lead. Yeah. So, just like 5 women of color from New York City. And, in designing my sneaker, I chose to make it about the Bronx. And I made it, the name of the sneaker is called 718. And the colors I used for it were from the Bronx flag, actually. Blue, white, and orange, and I also got inspiration from Bronx graffiti as well.
Oh, wow. So tell us more about your like sneaker inspiration. Like, what else did you get?
So, reason behind I did it like about the Bronx 718 was also to shed light into like the gentrification going on in the Bronx. And also just about like preserving the culture, the people, and the landscape. So, I just wanted to bring awareness to that. And like I knew it was gonna get a lot of media and all that, so that's the main reason I also did it about the Bronx.
I want to ask, how was your experience working with Nike?
It was kind of surreal. Like I just couldn't believe it was happening. I still can't believe it happened.
Yeah.
But it was fun, but it was scary because it was like, it's Nike. Like there's an expectation to it. And also, I guess, even just launching the sneaker, like hoping it did well and people were into it. And also just the fact, like, I'm not like this sneakerhead too. So it was just kind of like random as well. But I loved it. Like, it was an amazing experience. And I'm so happy that I got to make that sneaker. And I'm so happy I had to do it about the Bronx, you know?
Do you feel that working with Nike gave you like more exposure into like the fashion world?
I guess. I mean, a bit. Like, it made me, I've never done like sneaker, like product design.
Yeah.
So I got to learn with that. And it did open me a bigger world when it comes to like sneakers and accessory and streetwear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did.
Do you have any advice and tips for Bronx youth who want to get into fashion?
I would say just like stay true to yourself and like what you believe in and what you like, and don't try to be like others. Like, just be like yourself.
And do you have any advice on resume building?
My resume is okay. Make it look nice and presentable. Like, that already catches people's attention when it's designed well. That's what I would say.
And I also like to ask, can you like please tell us like where we can check out your work and how we can like get in contact with you?
So basically, on my social media, Roselyn Grullón, you can look at all my work. It's all there. I'm always on social media, and you can hit me up there as well.
Are you like thinking about doing like anything else with Nike? Maybe like working with them again in the future?
If I can work with them in the future, I would. Yeah.
And also like, how is it right now? Like, have people like noticed you? Like, oh my God, you're the girl that made these sneakers.
Yes. Actually, this week I just went to an appointment, and some guy came up to me and told me he bought my sneakers. I had no idea who he was. Yeah. It was pretty dope. So yeah, that's happened a couple of times. Or just people that just see me and they're like, "Hey, Bronx Native."
Yeah.
So yeah, that happens a couple of times. It's pretty dope. Yeah.
I also want to ask like, how's your store doing right now?
It's doing good. I'm not actually involved in Bronx Native at the moment, but it looks like it's doing good. My brother's there. But yeah.
Could you give also advice for those that like want to like start a Bronx like Native like store, something like along that?
Well, when starting Bronx Native, it was just kind of like we just winged everything. Just like stay true to your instinct, and you know, like everything that we did is just like out of passion, and like we just wanted to do that. You know, like we knew that no one else was doing that, so we did it. You know, and like just taking that risk. So that's what I would say. Like, business-wise, like, I'm not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm a creative, and I just, you know, I was creative. That's basically what I did.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. We'd like to thank our guest, Roselyn Grullón, for joining us and for you tuning in. Hope you enjoy our show and catch us back on the next time of Open 2.0.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.